Hey guys, what is going on? It is CruZzAve here and I welcome each and every one of you to a brand new tutorial video for our channel, The Guide. And today I have the last part of my little tactics series for you, at least for FIFA 19. Obviously in FIFA 20 we're going to update you on the tactics that we will use then. But for today we will take a look at my ultra attacking game plan, and as last time in the defensive one, I will also give you some additional tips on how your playstyle should look in order to put the maximum amount of pressure on the opponent. I hope you enjoy the video, and if you're interested in private coaching by elite top 100 or pro players, then remember to check the link in the description to our coaching website. You will find all further information there. Enjoy. And last but not least, we have my ultra attacking game plan, and here we have another 4-3-3 formation, but this time the fourth version, so it's the offensive style of the 4-3-3. And here for the defensive style, of course, we have constant pressure, so the maximum of pressure play, because all you want to do is rush at the opponent and get the ball back as quickly as possible. The width I have set to 4 because the 4-3-3 is already a very wide formation, and I don't want my players to be positioned too far from each other, because then it can get hard to get 2 or 3 players at the same time attacking the opponent's ball holder. So I'm turning down the width a bit. And then the depth I have set on 9 out of 10 bars, so almost the maximum setting of being as high up the pitch as possible. I've not set it to 10, it's just kind of personal preference that I feel like if you have it on 10, the opponent just plays one long ball and is through on goal, but of course still it's a very offensive setting. And then for the offensive style, I'm still keeping balanced, as you can see in all my game plans. Despite the ultra defensive one, I have the balanced setting, because if I want to score goals, I just always want to do it with the same kind of running patterns from my players, and then I feel like I have the highest chance to actually successfully go for goals. Then for the width, once again very standard 5-bar setting. Players in the box I have on 7, so a bit higher. I want more players inside of the box to create some confusion, maybe get a lucky rebound, something like that, but I also don't want all the players going in there, because then all I can do is, I don't know, play lob balls into the box, play crosses. I can't really go for any passing combinations anymore, so that's why only 7 out of 10. And then corners 4 out of 5, and free kicks also 4 out of 5, and that should give me some options to actually score goals from set pieces as well. Moving on to the instructions for my wingers, I don't have any instructions at all. I just want them in their position, and I also want them to work defensively and not stay forward completely, because then the opponent has an easy time to just play the ball around in midfield. So that's why they have all the standard instructions. For the striker, I'm once again using get in behind as an instruction, and I don't have stay forward here as well, because I'm already high up the pitch anyways, and I want every player to work in defense to pressure the opponent and get the ball back as quickly as possible. So get in behind is the only instruction here. My cam, however, I have on stay forward and get into the box for crosses, because him I want to stay higher up the pitch. So if I get the ball back, I can immediately start counter-attacking and play the ball towards Nedved, and then maybe look for a goal scoring opportunity. And I also want him higher up the pitch to pressure earlier, so stay forward for him makes sense in my opinion. One CM I have on complete default settings, and the other center mid I gave the instruction to get forward so that he joins the attack more often, and I have some extra offensive power, and the other CM I can pull up if I want to manually. And then finally for my left back and right back, I have the instruction join the attack, so I want them to move up the pitch by themselves so that I have more players forward, more options to play those passing combinations, and can overlap on the wing maybe for a cross or a low driven pass into the box. So I want them to join the attack at all times, and that's why I gave this instruction. Alright guys, now that I've showed you the exact game plan that I use in order to get back into games, I will once again give you additional specific gameplay tips that show the, in my opinion, best playstyle in order to make those comebacks on a regular basis, and that have helped me out in the past years tremendously. First of all, once again, the important question, when to switch. And I want to point out that first I like to switch to my alternative formation if things are not going well, so that I have an alternative angle on the game. And if that also doesn't work and I'm still in a 1-goal deficit by the 70th minute, then I switch to my 4-3-3 formation, because then I have 20 minutes of in-game time left in order to get back into the game and score this one crucial goal. If I'm in a 2 or more goal deficit, however, then I already switch around the 60th minute mark, because I want to have more time in order to apply the pressure and enough time so that I can score 2 or even more goals in order to turn the whole game. So you always want to keep a balance between not opening up too early, but also giving yourself enough time to put the pressure on the opponent so that you can capitalize on his mistakes and even out the game. Next up we have defending, so basically pressure play, because obviously you want to get the ball back as quickly as possible. And the key to that is defending aggressively. And I've made a tutorial already on how to think ahead, anticipate and defend aggressively in order to put a lot of pressure on the opponent. You should check it out in the top right corner or with the link in the description if you haven't seen it yet. And you should also check out our tutorial on right stick switching, since that is another key mechanic in order to be quick enough with your player switches and put pressure on the ball holder at all times. And what you then want to do after losing ball possession is first cutting passing lanes. So obviously you don't want to leave many options open for the opponent and just rush at him, because then he can play passes around you. So first you have to cut off the first 1 or 2 passing lanes, and then after the opponent decides for a pass and is getting under a little bit of pressure because there are some players of you close to the ball holder, that's the moment when you want to attack really aggressively. You want to sprint towards that player and start tackling the opponent, and if he plays another pass then you want to repeat the process. And even with your center backs you can rush out, you can anticipate and try to get in with a tackling, because you will have a lot of players around the opponent, and since most opponents are going to select a more defensive game plan, they won't have so many players forward, so they will be under a lot of pressure with only a few options available. And you can see it in this example. First I'm cutting the passing lane with Pogba, then I'm attacking aggressively with Nainggolan, don't get the ball, but I'm continuing to rush at the opponent with David Luiz, and in the end I'm able to tackle the ball away. And even if you don't get the ball cleanly with your tacklings, the sheer pressure of always rushing forward, always giving the opponent the feeling that you're in his neck, will lead to a lot of mistakes by the opponent. You can see it in this example. I'm rushing forward with David Luiz and I'm completely anticipating wrong, but the opponent is getting hectic and he's playing a triangle pass that Pogba is able to cover, and I'm winning the ball back quickly once again. So that's basically what you want to do in defense. You want to make the build-up as hectic as possible for the opponent. You never want to give him any room to breathe, and you want to get the ball back quickly. Now, when we take a look at the offensive play, on the other hand, you want to do exactly the opposite. I see way too many players that are getting hectic themselves when they're behind by 1 or 2 goals and they feel like they need to rush forward in order to score that goal, and then they lose the ball consistently, always give it back to the opponent easily. The opponent then has it, keeps ball possession and takes time off the clock. So what you want to do in offense instead is keep your calm and don't lose the ball easily. You want to let your whole team push forward and create as much pressure as possible in offense as well. Obviously, that doesn't mean that you don't want to go for a counterattack when there's a good situation for it, but in general, you want to use the offensive style of your formation in order to let everyone of your team push forward and then create a very high pressure situation around the opponent's box, where you can circulate the ball, where you will have a lot of players, and which will also help you with getting lucky rebounds more often, because you will have more players in that area. And then what you want to do is let the opponent become impatient. Just imagine it from your perspective. If you're the one who's defending and who wants to keep that 1-goal lead, and the opponent is constantly having the ball, letting it circulate around the box and never giving you an opportunity to tackle the ball away, then you're getting nervous and you're feeling the pressure, and sometimes it's getting to you, and then you're moving out trying to go for that tackling. Like in this example here, the opponent, and once again these are Division 1 players in Division Rivals, is just moving completely out of position without any reason and lets me be free on goal with Son, and then I can capitalize on that and score the goal for the 3-4. So to summarize this game plan and playstyle, you want to create a constant pressure situation for the opponent, and that means that he loses the ball quickly in his build-up because you're putting pressure in defense, and then he doesn't get the ball back easily because you in your own build-up and in your own offensive game style are making no easy mistakes. You're passing the ball around carefully and waiting for the right moment to strike, and that puts the opponent in a very unpleasant state because he's basically not seeing the ball, he's not able to take time off the clock, and he's constantly forced to defend correctly and withstand your pressure. So be patient, don't get hectic, and let your opponent do the mistakes, and I promise you, if you're confident and punish these mistakes that the opponent will make, then you're in a good shape in order to come back in a lot of games. That's it for today's tutorial video. I hope it has been helpful to you guys. If that's the case, we would massively appreciate a like, since that will help out the video and the channel as well. And also write me in the comment section down below if this specific game plan and playstyle helps you to make more comebacks in your games. And if you have any questions, you can also drop them down there. Also subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss any further video of the guide. I'll better talk to you in the next one. See you then. Much love.